Hi, Louise.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you?
I didn't know who was going to say hi first.
I know. I just decided to jump in there because we just had our Instagram reel of
Yeah,
all our hellos, which I love that reel.
I love that reel, and it made me laugh today because I'm like, "Hi, Sarah."
I know. Hello, Louise.
I love it. That is actually how we are, though, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
so here we are this is our, I guess, penultimate chapter review
yeah,
of, and I think we need to come up with another. It's not a chapter review because
right.
it's more of like a book discussion.
Yeah, almost like book club.
Yeah. So anyway, with Megan Culhane Galbraith, The Guild of the Infant Saviour. I will miss
Me
her
too.
writing. So
Mhm.
good.
I will too.
And we are on the chapter. Well, one of the chapters is where there is nothing left to hide. There is nothing left to seek.
Yeah, it's very interesting because she is such a historian.
She really is.
Right. She gets super into this whole thing about pocket watches because of a relative she's investigating in her life. And we won't go into all that because it's a ton of like history about the pocket watch. And I mean, it goes way
Erotic
back.
pocket watches.
Yes.
Which,
I had no idea actually
I
about
didn't
this.
either.
It's really interesting. Like she has this little, like she's obsessed by the watch, she says, and like researching the watch, and that it was about power with men and showing off, something. And it was all about women. One thing in there about women couldn't have pockets because in the old days, if you had pockets, you could hide secrets. And so they would make things because women would put things in their corsets or under their underwear. They started making all women's clothes without pockets because God forbid a woman hides some secret thing from a man. I had no idea that that's why they got rid of pockets for women. And then the whole watch thing, like, it was about women in the dials, like underneath each pocket watch is like a nude woman thing.
It was like early porn.
Yes.
Is pretty much what it was.
Isn't it? It's fascinating. I mean, it was.
Yeah. And enraging when just the whole pocket and.
Yeah. She had some good lines. She had, there's like in essence, men had women exactly where they wanted them in their vest pocket. Every single watch has a nude woman in its center, like exactly where they wanted them. I mean, she has good lines in there.
Yeah. And then, and Ursula, obviously her birth mother was a feminist as well. Feminist tendencies, whatever you want to say, empowered woman, and there she was at the Guild of the Infant Saviour. But, one of the things about Megan's writing is just the jumping back, it's not a linear narrative. But talking about the Brett Kavanaugh case that Ursula emailed her right after Dr. Blasey Ford's testimony, and time is a privilege still afforded to men. They can erase it, black out, move on, and be confirmed for life.
I mean, I think Ursula wrote that, right? Wasn't it an email or something? Yeah, it's really, she's a lot like Megan in that way.
Yeah, that's what I
mean, it's a good line. It's like, it's really, I do think that the watch thing, she turns back to like just control of, like, through that, the whole section of that is really about the control of women, right? That we don't have really, even in this day, hasn't really changed that much. Are we still being controlled? The narrative, and we're trying.
And then if you circle back to then take that to adoptee narratives, still being controlled, and
adoptee narrative, birth mother narrative, for shame,
mother narrative,
all of it. Then she gets into losing it, about her. That's the short chapter about her virginity, 1984. Well, really, that part was interesting. Actually, that's not when she left.
It was actually 85 when she went to 85.
But 84, did you think that she took all her friends
all her friends to get diaphragms? Yeah.
Diaphragms. They all went to Planned Parenthood. They said, we're not
She drove them to Planned Parenthood. Yeah.
We're not going to give them
I don't need it, but you guys do. So.
And then, yeah, she took him and then she got a diaphragm too. And the doctor said, well, are you having sex? She's like, no. So she gets a diaphragm with her friends. That was cool of her.
Instead of lattes, they got diaphragms.
Go Megan. She's empowering her friends. And then 1985 is called Water, right?
Yeah.
It's about camp. And what did you
she
think?
was also she was also talked about having an eating disorder at the time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of all intertwined, the self-image and the skinny dipping, and
yeah,
it's really good. It's a great, I really like this chapter a lot.
I did too. She met a guy named Charlie and they had her first like love affair, kind of, naked swimming and sex, but all these feelings that go with it. It brings back, like, it evokes, I don't know, memories of our youth, doesn't it? Like,
well, totally. It just makes you think of just that feeling of possibility and all the feelings surging through your body and excitement, and everything is new and summer and a lake and
yeah. And Charlie's a little bit older.
It made me
Cool.
wistful.
Yeah, wistful. And I'm wondering where it's going to go, because that's where we stopped reading.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, I wonder where it's going to go from this, because it is the innocent sort of thing. And she wants to,
and she wasn't young.
No,
she was 19.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's like, oh, you're a virgin. Why are you doing that? And she wanted to have sex and go forward. And so I'm curious where it's going to go into, like, our thought processes as women, where this leads to. But that's that little capturing of that summer moment. I don't know. She's such a good writer.
Yeah, she's great. Well, we have a interesting guest coming up. Next chapter review is our last one for this book.
It's our last one.
Then we have our season. Strike that from the record. Season finale.
You should tell them what our season finale is.
Yes. Okay. So our season finale is going to be a discussion with all three writers whose books we covered this season. So that would be A.M. Holmes, Damon Davis, and Megan. So
it's going to be so cool.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. And our guest coming up today is, I think, something everybody should hear about, what she's gone through. And
yes,
it's going to be a good one. So we'll see you in a minute.
See you in a minute.
Okay.